Hello, hello. I'm going to do a really quick reading. I mentioned yesterday that I'm going to be doing a longer video to get out some of my messages. This is not that video. I'm not in the space to do it yet. Strange happenings for me in my life lately. Just too much going on. So I need to settle down for a couple more days, but I wanted to pull a quick spread with particular focus on like love and relationships. That could not have gone more poorly. Because tomorrow, so it's February. Yay, happy February. And tomorrow on February 2nd, it's 2224. And we're going to have February 22nd as well, but it is a 2-2 portal day. And it's falling on Imbolc, which is halfway between the equinox and the solstice. And if you didn't hear, you have survived the 10 darkest weeks of the year. So that's always exciting. As somebody whose birthday falls very close to the summer solstice, I love it when we hit this point in the year because every day is just that much brighter leading up to my birthday. So it's a good time of year. And the 2-2 portal also, tomorrow being, oh my goodness, tomorrow being Friday, there's a planetary correlation for the days of the week. Anybody who speaks even a little bit of French will know this, like lundi with the moon, luna, lune, lundi, jeudi is Thursday, which belongs to Jupiter. There's also archangel correspondences for the days of the week. But Vendredi is Friday, which is Venus. Venus is the planet of love. So 2-2, right? 2-2-2. Anything about twos is pertaining to love and relationships in most cases, because 2 is like the number of equal balance and harmony. It is what takes us from, the self into the partnership. So beautiful things, beautiful energy, beautiful day tomorrow. Make the most of it. Communication is going to be supported in, loving relationships. And it's also a good day to set intentions, right? And clarify your manifestations to that end. So with that said, I'm just going to do a mini spread, and it's going to be about tomorrow and love and relationships. So current energy. It's the 7 of Pentacles, which was our current energy yesterday. So no surprise there. I did say that reading was good for the coming week. 7 of Pentacles, though, in the John Holland Psychic Tarot is patience and planning. Okay. What's our energy to embrace? The 4 of Cups. So this is interesting because it's not the 4 of Swords, which has been coming out a lot. It's a different kind of rest and healing and contemplation. And our energy to release is the Tower. So this is lovely because, if I'm guiding this spread by talking about love, partnership, and relationships, then we're looking to avoid setting ourselves up for Tower moments in the future with the decisions that we make that are more informed, right? What's the hidden energy? The Knight of Swords. That card can oftentimes pertain to like communication, really. But it can also be about like brash, brazen, emboldened communication. Clarify, hidden energy, Knight of Swords. We have the 7 of Cups. That's interesting. We'll get into that just a little bit. And now I'm going to cut the deck to get advice. It's the 3 of Cups. Okay. Suitors. I just heard the word suitors. So, okay, if this resonates with you, I guess this is more of a single person reading. If you have multiple suitors, ask your friends, right? It's kind of a random specific message to bring through. But if I'm ever, like, for instance, if I'm dating somebody and all of their friends are a certain way, that communicates something to me. And vice versa, right? If your friends hate who you're dating, then that should tell you something. So there's something here about being overwhelmed. 7 of Cups is about having choices. So you might have multiple choices of people in your life. that's always an interesting issue to have, right? But something about Three of Cups, clarifying incoming energy that's overwhelming and confusing, and it has multiplicity to it, right? Seven of Cups is all about there being a lot going on. Let's clarify that. Let's shuffle out a card to clarify that. Two of Pentacles, yeah. It's a choice, right? It's a choice. So what's the energy for people that are already partnered? I'm going to take the one on the left that came out for that answer, and then I'm going to use this to embark on a new spread. There are 3 cards there. Partnered people, Hanged Man. That's interesting. So a lot of the advice that comes through for relationship spreads, in my opinion, I think that you can always apply that to your partnered life. When you're with somebody in a relationship, that's when a lot of your, I think, development can begin, because only then do you have the confines of a person who's kind of like your mirror to illuminate the ways in which you still would like to evolve. And of course, we always attract somebody to us when we're at a certain point in our lives. And whether or not we stagnate with them or we continue to evolve is going to depend on the personal healing of the 2 parties that are coming together. But what I'm getting with the Hanged Man for kind of like this groundwork, and again, I'm going to kind of stick with current energy as 7 of Pentacles, energy to embrace as the 4 of Cups, and the energy to release as the Tower. So like perhaps you've had some rough patches with a partner, and now it's time to kind of reconsider for the same purpose, right? Of avoiding these kind of like upsets or larger issues. And then let's see what we have in this threesome. 8 of Cups, Ace of Pentacles, 6 of Swords. Very interesting. Why? Well, because this was at the bottom of the deck yesterday. I was like kind of looking at it, but I didn't want to bring it into the situation. But it was at the point in the reading when I pulled the Temptation card, which is the Devil from the Psychic Tarot, as well as the 5 of Cups. So this was here. It was at the bottom of the deck. It's the 8 of Cups. It's about going somewhere new to find your emotional fulfillment. And what else came out with that is the 6 of Swords, which is also about going somewhere new. So those two, clarified by the Ace of Pentacles, it's like finally making something tangible, finally making a new direction tangible. And again, I personally believe that you can relate this energy to being single or being with somebody, right? Because you can always make a new start, like make a new routine or like tradition or pattern with your significant other, a new beginning at any point during your relationship. So I'd like to clarify again, Knight of Swords, 7 of Cups, and the 3 of Cups. Clarify the 3 of Cups, which I spoke about as being like friends, right? Or other people. And I was saying ask your friends, but clarify Knight of Swords and 7 of Cups in hidden energy a little bit more. If it doesn't have to do with friendship, right? Or just like King of Pentacles, more, another card. I have a feeling it's the type of decision, right? The people who are in 2 of Pentacles energy, or people who are, this is so funny. I don't do love readings, nor will I begin to. This is an outlier in the scope of things. Clarify King of Pentacles with the Knight of Swords and the 7 of Cups. Oh, I was going to say, if that is your situation, 2 of Pentacles, Knight of Swords, or like overwhelm, right? Different choices, not knowing what the right choice may be. There's going to be like a grounded energy. I mean, in this type of spread, because I'm getting pretty specific here, this could mean that it's an earth sign, like an earth sign person. But what else we have is Knight of Wands and Hierophant and Eight of Swords. So that's interesting because what I'm getting off of this as like a foursome, King of Pentacles, and then it's clarified by the Knight of Wands, which is really passionate, lustful, fast forward energy. Hierophant can speak to ascended levels of commitment, like engagement or marriage. And then we have the Eight of Swords, which is about self-imposed prisons and limitations. So there could be something about being freed. I'm going to cut the deck to clarify. Where did the deck go? Let me say this before I clarify. It could be about becoming unstuck as a couple to move to a higher level of commitment, or, attracting in somebody who's grounded and stable and passionate about you, who wants to offer you a higher level of commitment. And now we will clarify. Knight of Pentacles. That's interesting. More. King of Cups. King of Cups, Knight of Pentacles. Yeah. I mean, another king. So it could be a water sign too. Or, I mean, we do have the Pentacles coming in with more earth energy. But these are antithesis cards, right? He moves the quickest. He moves the slowest. So, I mean, that could be representative of like different personalities, but like, this is why I don't do these readings, because I never want to be like, you're going to have 1 billion people coming in and courting you. I don't know that. I don't know that. I do not know that. These types of things can only be best resolved in a personal one-on-one reading where an individual is tapping into your energy and your energy alone. But I'm just entertaining this because of the 2-2 thing tomorrow. So it's honestly for fun and for entertainment purposes, as with anything else. And because we're doing it, let's get some of these. The Hidden Secrets Oracle. We'll do coming from a feminine energy, 3 cards, and we'll do coming from a masculine energy. So again, that can be like however you identify within your dynamic. It doesn't have to pertain to gender. I'll pull 6 cards, 3 for each column. So if you're thinking of a masculine or feminine energy, then you can interpret these messages as coming from them. So this is feminine, what they would say, 3 of them. And then the masculine energies, what they would say. Ugh, this deck makes me so nervous because some of these messages, some of them are like so nice and so sweet, and some of them are like, everything's absolutely ruined. All right, the first one says, just being near you is intoxicating. I wish I could share my good news with you. I want to tell you how I feel. And then from the masculine side, we have, my life is not as together as it seems. I knew exactly what I was doing. Tired of hearing that. I bury myself in work to forget you. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting that we have like a little bit of a theme here, right? I wish I could share my good news with you, and I want to tell you how I feel. These cards are both like outgoing, right? Like wanting to connect. These ones are avoidant. I bury myself and work to forget you. My life is not as together as it seems. I knew exactly what I was doing. Okay, so it takes me back to the current energy yesterday, the reading before that, 4 of Swords. But we're in 4 of Cups, which makes sense. I mean, 4 of Cups kind of is the Cups emotion card of 4 of Swords. I mean, respectively, suit to suit and stuff. So it's like a contemplation, like perhaps certain things are being healed and worked through right now, so that whoever, if you're in feminine energy, thinking about a masculine energy, and this is where they're at. I mean, we don't know. I don't know. This is all just, this is why I don't like these cards, but it could be that they're needing to do some things in order to release themselves from the self-imposed prison that they've created around all sorts of all sorts of reasons why people create these prisons. But my life is not together as it seems. I mean, that really is about like outward appearances, right? I think literally everybody can say that at any given point. That's certainly always the case for me. My life is not as together as it seems at any given point. But there's still some avoidance stuff there. So now I'm going to take a card for each to clarify. So the feminine clarifier with these 3 messages: just being near you is intoxicating. I wish I could share my good news with you. I want to tell you how I feel. Oh, we have the 7 of Wands. That's interesting. So if those messages resonate with you and you're feeling that way about somebody, what I'm getting is that this has been something that you've been holding out for, persevering for. And then a clarifier for my life is not as together as it seems. I knew exactly what I was doing. I bury myself in work to forget you. I'm going to cut the deck to get it. Here, this one. The Moon. Yeah, I mean, back to healing, using the intuition. It could go both ways, right? I think I don't want to go on that tangent right now. Let me try to do a Spark Notes version. I was going to say something about just like men and masculine egos when they're healing. But I don't really know how to summarize this. It's as if, I mean, there's something about healing the self before you can be with another person. Of course, that's not really how it goes for reasons that I've talked about in the past, like codependency and fear of being alone. And also the fact that a lot of people don't even know that they're not healed, right? I mean, generationally, things are changing in the world of psychiatry and psychotherapy. 20 years ago, people weren't talking about inner child healing as much as they are today. And obviously the internet helps with that because you have people like me who is not qualified to give, psychotherapy advice. I mean, I almost am. I could be. I've studied a lot. I've been a patient. There's something there. But, in general, you've got just a lot of people on the internet talking about all sorts of things, and a lot of professionals. So that's useful. Information spreads quickly. But it didn't used to be like that. So, I mean, we kind of live in a world where we have imperfect people raising other imperfect people, and almost nobody comes out unscathed. I mean, the purpose of having imperfect parents is to figure out what traits you're going to carry forth and which ones you're going to write out of your scripting. This makes me think of something epigenetics, around the fact that we are not coded by our genes. We code them, we write them. You can change your physical body and traits. I mean, I'm actively healing out a multi-generational degenerative meniscus condition from my lineage. I will not pass this on to my child, mark my words. To be honest, I've been doing certain techniques and stuff for my knees for weeks now, and the shape and the contour of my kneecap, I haven't seen it this way in years because of all the inflammation that I usually have. There usually is too much fluid. I mean, now that I say this, they're kind of swollen right now. They're kind of swollen, but they always are, right? And I mean, even just to be able to say that I've been sitting at home doing something that's been helping me when I haven't received any type of lasting help through the legitimate medical system in 15 years, that's remarkable, right? And maybe it's placebo, but it's working. So there's something there. But anyway, what I was going to talk about is that it's like whoever this masculine energy is, there's something about healing the feminine side. Also, the moon just representing the fact that this is happening behind the scenes, right? Again, with that avoidant energy, it's not something that would be witnessable because people do not like to be witnessed when they're doing their private healing. So the moon with that. I would like a clarifier for what I was talking about. Kind of want to ask a yes/no question around. I mean, we'll see how this goes. What is this What is this healing pertaining to? Excuse me, now I'm just being nosy, but we'll see what comes out. I also don't know if I can interpret a single card to mean an answer. Oh. Yes, I can. So the Magician came out. What I'm getting here, for the same reasons that I just described, right, around people's ability to even understand what it means to be alive. Like, I think a certain amount of people in older generations, you don't, like, want to talk about therapy or admit that you're in need. When people in the millennial generation or, Gen Z, it's like, well, everybody's in need. It's not easy to be out in the world and be okay. I mean, a lot of people my age feel that way, that it's almost impossible. It's insane out there. So, as with a different kind of paradigm shift that allows for there to not be a stigma or a certain amount of shame culture around needing therapeutic support and intervention, there's also this reimagining, and I obviously don't know what generation, right, your person's in, but I think just in general around healing and therapy, it is more of a, like, I see a couple, typically I think in a heterosexual couple, it's like the wife who's like, we need to go to therapy, let's go. There's not a whole lot of husbands dragging their unwilling wives to go. So there's something about generations, but this is also just the fact that feminine energies tend to be more open-minded, right? Or like trusting of those services and their efficacy, where I think male energies tend to be a little bit more stubborn around that, especially because to be vulnerable, right, even with their partner, that can be a lot for a lot of men. So like, forget even getting a stranger involved. But it feels like there's a similar opening, softening, reimagining taking place around the fact that, well, it's actually kind of the energy that I got for Q2 in the 2024 forecast overview when I've cleaned up, so it's not here anymore. It's over there. But I made a drawing, and I had this inner circle, which represented rotational activity on a daily basis. So your, daily grind, or a week, whatever you do day in, day out, And it was 2-2-2-2 on the clock. That being your own trodden path has an effect on the outer manifested world that you experience, your world. Nobody else, even if you're walking in a crowd of 50 people and you're all looking at the buildings together, no one else sees them just the way that you do. And so there is a correlation, right, between the inner world, and that includes everything. The subconscious, I'm seeing the id, ego, superego, iceberg diagram, everything unrealized and everything integrated. That walks with you. That walks with your energy. That's what helps you make your decisions, whether or not you realize it, because it's part of you. It's part of your psyche. So there's an understanding that even if the life of the individual is not as together as it seems, like I've said in the past, you can basically break out of absolutely anything at any given moment. It's just that the physical 3D manifested world around you is not going to change as quickly. It takes time. And so you can instantaneously pivot and change your vibration, do reframing techniques, and have a mindset shift, and let something just snip the tether energetically. Like, oops, whoop, I'm free of it. I don't care anymore. Not in an apathetic way, but like, so that it doesn't take you out of your stasis, right? And start to compromise your point of manifestation. Again, with the present moment being a flashlight bulb. This is coming in handy again. Yeah. If you let the emotions, and again, like emotions are positive, and you're fully entitled to feel all of them as much as you can, as much as they arise. But how do you get, stuck there or not? Because if you can't come back to the stasis, or if you take them to be so literal, right? Instead of, like, it's like if you thought that the little water skimming bugs were actually the water, and then you thought that the water was actually the floor of the ocean, right? There's something immovable always to touch back to. What am I drawing? Oh. Mm-hmm. Okay, it doesn't look like a flashlight. I don't know what they look like, I guess. That makes me think of a meme I saw where it's somebody who's like, I tried to draw a chameleon from memory and now I'm crying. It's a funny little picture. I wouldn't know how to do that either. Okay. So, I mean, here we go. This is the present moment. This is the future. Whatever energetic vibration emotionally that you possess here is pointing you, right? Low vibe, high vibe. Oops. But I mean, really, it's the composite, it's the summation, the amalgamation of you. And so it's not like we're never just always happy, always pointing up, but it's just how much you kind of course correct throughout the normal, full, total, and complete spectrum of human emotions, and remembering that your power is in the present, really, because that's where you summon forth your trajectory. So it's an act of commitment to self-regulate. It's an act of commitment to your future success and like potential to experience good things, to self-regulate and realize when you're being reactive. This feels like 101 stuff compared to what I've been talking about recently, and now it's threatening to spiral. So I guess I'll leave it at that. What's our outcome? Just generally speaking, what's our outcome? Beautiful, the well. I'm moved to take this one and this one. Wow, look at that. The well. So deep reflections and pulling upon, again, it makes me think about what I just finished talking about, where like I believe that no one is, slow to the party. It's all just it's a gradual, I mean, this whole decade of the 2020s is like the crest of a wave breaking. It's like a tsunami breaking. The whole damn decade is like that in that little moment, right? It's crumbling. So it's sort of like inevitable, I think, that a lot of people are going to start to realize their alchemical truth within the energetics of life. And it's not for everybody. I mean, I do believe that everybody could tap into that, but for whatever reason, a lot of people never will be drawn to. But for those that are, I believe that this new beginning, or whatever it is you're embarking on, like a new beginning with your existing person, or new, whatever, it's going to be deeply creative. We like that. It makes me think again of, I've used this analogy for different stuff, but basically like a rubber glove or a cleaning glove. It's not all the way on, that wouldn't feel very good to have like slack in the fingertips and try to be like scrubbing or cleaning when it's like that. That's kind of like the human experience. It's like we've never pulled it all the way on to understand how it's supposed to work, the human experience, because of all the convolution in the world and the power structures that seek to divide us from our true nature, because then we would be ungovernable. Not really. Just happier and less ill, less profitable. So, it's sort of like the connections that are begun now, they're going to have the glove all the way on between two people. And here's the beautiful thing. Once a single individual puts their glove on all the way and it's like, oh, this is what it's like to be a human. This is better. I'm happier, whatever. Like, who knows? I don't know what would have happened to me. You just can't even like theorize about it. Like if I hadn't found spirituality, I can't even theorize about that. But, because it's impossible. Something else would have happened and I would have, found, I believe, where I am now. But anyway, it only takes one person to put their glove on all the way to affect a ton of people. And if you have two fully gloved people coming together, within their depths to encompass like a truly abundant, creative partnership, because you always manifest stronger and better when you're with somebody. Even if you're manifesting for yourself, like the safety and security of our household, and our pets and children or whatever else. I'm laughing because I had a debacle with the dog. Like, I don't even want to go into it. It could be a funny story, but you don't want to hear my stories. Maybe I'll just pile all of that onto like my storytelling video when I actually get into all this stuff that I want to get into. But anyway, this is beautiful. And the third card that came out is the Four of Swords. So it's taking us back to this healing. And I'm also getting with this is that if you're not partnered and you're going to be, or you'd like to be, if you'd like to be and you're not, then just know that you will be at some point, right? Don't try to foresee when these things are going to happen. I think a lot of people waste their time being like, when is my spouse going to arrive? Like, your life is continuing to be lived by you. It's just a matter of whether or not you're, looking like you're waiting for a package to arrive from Amazon, on the doorstep, or if you're putting yourself into those beautiful, meet cute moments. I tend to tell people when they ask me for information about dating from the perspectives that I speak on, to stay away from dating apps. I don't really think they're, I've met some good people on dating apps, but I've met some wretched people on dating apps too. And if you've been on them, I'm pretty sure you could probably say the same. But for me, it's like old-fashioned meet cute or bust. I don't want to do that. I don't, this makes me think about a conversation that I had at a dog park with a middle-aged man who was struggling to find love. And he kept saying things to me like, you just don't get it. You're not going to get it. You're a beautiful woman and you're not going to have a hard time finding a partner. But I like to debate people for fun. So, and he has a point, but he's also failing to neglect that his attitude about how he was approaching everything, like everything that I suggested or said to him, he had a reason as to why it was not a good idea and it wasn't going to work for him. And at that point, it's like, okay, sir, seems like you have it all figured out. Good luck being single and unhappy. And I sound like a bitch, but it was like, this has to do with this type of prison, right? What do you tell yourself? What's the narrative that you tell yourself? Just because you've never met somebody organically in the normal world doesn't mean it's not possible. It just means that you continue to tell yourself that because it's never happened, it's never going to. So I don't want to lecture too much in this regard, but whether or not you're partnered or not, I believe that this combo is about doing a really beautiful amount of healing in a space of vulnerability with your future partner, your existing one if you already have one, like a new level of depth, a new beginning that goes deeper than where you've been. And you're both going to heal through this and be able to be more vulnerable. And we love that. So with that, I'm going to go walk the dog. And I hope everybody's doing well. So let me just do a little clearing. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. He's okay, by the way, the dog. He just got injured and I didn't realize, and he's bleeding all over everything. And I have a white carpet downstairs. And I had another issue in my home and I was having people come to fix it. And the issue happened to take place in the shower, and the dog had to go into the shower because he was bleeding all over everything. So I was like, okay, stay in there, don't move. He's like, stick him in the shower. So now, shower's covered in blood. People are coming to fix the shower. The dog's in the shower. I have to bandage up his little paw. It was a whole thing. And I was supposed to go to a networking event, but that is just not going to happen. And life goes on. So, just sending out blessings to everybody. And make a wish tomorrow. If you are in the space of trying to attract a partner or looking for love, make a beautiful open-ended wish and see it as ordering at a restaurant and know that it's going to come true. Bye.